All right, this is the videotape deposition of Dr. Lateef being taken today on behalf of the plaintiff. My name is Gordon Kroll of Cavalier Reporting and Videography Incorporated. Charlotte, 415 4th Street Northeast, Charlottesville, Virginia, 22902. The court reporter today is Lisa Reinecke, also representing Cavalier Reporting, and would counsel please identify themselves now for the record.
Evan Mayo on behalf of the plaintiff, Ryan Sawyers.
Bill Porter and Ian McElhaney for the school board and the witness.
Philip Crone on behalf of defendant Bishop.
All right, thank you. Sir, would you raise your right hand, please? Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right, thank you very much.
Good afternoon, Dr. Lateef.
Good afternoon, Mr. Mayo.
It's nice to meet you. Thank you for being here today for your deposition.
You're welcome.
What type of doctor are you?
Ophthalmologist.
I appreciate you taking the time off. Are you aware this deposition is being videotaped?
Yes, I am.
Have you had your deposition taken before?
No, not really.
Anything similar to a deposition? You seem to hesitate there.
Yeah, years ago while in residency.
The court reporter is going to take down everything that you say, but will you do your best to give verbal answers and not talk with your hands or your head?
Okay.
With your nodding.
Sure.
Thanks.
Sure.
You can use the contents.
Right.
Okay. And so the court reporter's transcription is accurate. Will you please let me finish my question before you answer, and I'll wait till you finish your answer before I ask another question?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. If you don't understand a question or you need me to rephrase it, will you please let me know?
Yes, sir.
And do you understand that you're under oath today?
Yes.
And that even though we're in an informal setting, your testimony has the same force and effect as if we were in front of a judge and a jury?
Yes.
Are you taking any medication or suffering from any illness that could affect your ability to truthfully answer my questions today?
No.
Will you please state your full name for the record?
Babur Lateef.
I have to ask this. Have you ever been convicted or pled guilty to a felony or misdemeanor relating to lying, cheating, or stealing?
No.
Are you represented by an attorney with respect to the case?
Yes.
And does Mr. Porter represent you in your capacity as a school board member?
Yes, sir.
Is there any other attorney that represents you with respect to any issue in the case?
No.
Did you meet with Mr. Porter in anticipation of your deposition today?
I did.
And when did that meeting take place?
1 week ago, essentially.
Other than that meeting, did you meet with Mr. Porter to, that meeting 1 week ago, did you meet with Mr. Porter to discuss the facts of the case on any other occasion?
Probably 1 week prior to that.
Aside from those two occasions, anything otherwise?
10 minutes ago in the room.
Okay. Aside from the meetings that you had with Mr. Porter, have you done anything else to prepare for your deposition?
I've reviewed some policies that the school board has.
Any particular policies that you reviewed?
Policies around social media.
And do you recall the number of the policies?
I do not.
Were they policies or regulations?
They were, I don't know the answer to that. I think they were policies that we've updated most recently in January.
So that be Regulation 910-1 and 910-2?
That sounds correct.
Anything, did you review any other policies or regulations in addition to those two policies that were revised in January 2023?
I looked at some older policies that were on the books prior to that.
And were those the previous version of policy regulation 910-1? Did you review policy 900?
Do you have a title for that one?
I think it may be communications generally.
I may have. I reviewed something with communications.
Besides the review of those policies and maybe a policy in those regulations, is there anything else?
No.
Did you do anything else? Community relations is 900. Did you do anything else besides review those documents and speak to Mr. Porter on the 3 occasions you identified?
No.
And how long have you been a member of the school board?
Since 2018, April. That makes 5 years.
Who were the members of the school board at the time that you won your chairman seat?
Sure. Gil Trenum, Allison Satterwhite, Willie Deutsch, Lily Jesse, Lori Williams, Justin Wilk, Diane Ralston.
And what is the composition of the board as of today?
It will be Lily Jesse, Lori Williams, Diane Ralston, Justin Wilk, Lisa Zargapur, Jennifer Wall, and Adele Jackson.
And whom did Adele Jackson replace?
Gil Trenum.
And what about the other two that you
Jen
mentioned?
Wall replaced Allison Satterwhite, and Lisa Zargapur replaced Willie Deutsch. And then, of course, I'm on the board still.
And were those elections in 2020?
2019, November.
And have you always been in the role of the chairman of the school board for so long as you've held the position
Yes.
on the board?
Let me just
Yeah.
caution the witness if you can, make sure he finishes his
Yes,
question.
right. I'm sorry.
That's right. And also, if you take a pause, we've had some issues with the court reporter just keeping out this
Okay.
when they're virtual like we are today.
Okay.
Have you ever met Mike Bishop in person, the defendant Mike Bishop?
Yes.
How many times? Roughly.
Probably a half a dozen.
And were those all in at events related to Prince William County Schools?
Yes.
Have you ever had an extended conversation with Dr. Bishop?
To the form, if you know what that means.
I don't know what a definition of extended conversation is.
I suppose I'd consider a conversation in excess of 10 minutes an extended conversation.
Yes.
Conversation longer than an hour?
No.
Have you ever had a conversation with Dr. Bishop concerning Ryan Sawyers?
No.
Concerning any lawsuit brought by Ryan Sawyers against the school board or Dr. Bishop?
No.
Concerning any lawsuit brought against Ryan Sawyers by any person?
With Dr. Bishop? Are we
Yeah,
still
with Dr.
talking?
Bishop.
We're still, no, I have not had any discussion about any lawsuit with Dr. Bishop.
Have you ever had a discussion with Dr. Bishop regarding social media use in the context of Prince William County Schools?
No.
Since you became the chairperson of the school board in 2018, have you received any training regarding the use of social media in your capacity as a school board member?
Yes.
Do you recall the number of events, training events that have occurred?
I think we've had 2.
And when were the 2 training events that you recall?
I don't remember. Yeah. Maybe, to be honest with you, I don't remember exactly the dates.
Do you recall whether they were before or after 2019?
I believe one was before that, when I soon got on the board in 18. And then maybe one after.
Was the one that you experienced soon after you joined the board an off-site in Charlottesville? At a center for...
So formal training here on site might have been twice with division council in closed session. There's been a number of trainings that I may have attended at Virginia School Board Association meetings. So I've dropped in and out of lectures, whether they've been in Charlottesville or Williamsburg. They are routinely a part of most conferences, some level of social media training, communications training, press relations training.
On the 2 occasions where you received formal training from division council during closed session, was there anyone else present at the meetings when those trainings occurred besides division council and the school board members?
Not that I recall.
What was the identity of the representative from the council's office of the school division that performed those trainings?
Mary McGowan, Division Counsel, and our other attorney, Carol. I can't think of Carol's last name.
So knowing that Mary McGowan performed the first training, does that help you dial in the date with any more specificity?
No.
Do you know when she left her employment as division counsel with the school board?
A little over a year ago.
Which one of those events occurred first? The Mary McGowan training or the Carol Blank training?
I believe both of them were together, meaning both counsel was involved in the training, in both of them, I think.
In your role as a school board member, have you ever made any decisions regarding the provision of social media training or First Amendment training to members of the school division, employees of the school division?
Object to the form.
Yeah, I don't understand the question.
Has the school board ever voted on any issue in your memory about whether to provide certain types of training to PWCS employees regarding social media?
So I don't have an exact answer to that other than in the updated policy that we did vote on for social media, which would have been 9/10 in January. If that policy included it, I cannot recall the details. Outside of that, I do not recall.
Okay, and I understand the policy was changed in 2013 2023, and I will specifically ask you questions about those changes. The complaint in this case was filed, I'll represent to you, in June of 2022. So my interest is primarily in the version of 910 that was prior to the recent revisions, but I'll try and be specific when I'm
Sure.
asking you about the revisions, if that's fair. Had you ever voted on a policy, or ever voted on amendments regarding policy 910 prior to January 2023?
I do not recall. I will say that since my appointment to the board, social media policy has been something that has continued to evolve. We've addressed it, whether we voted on it in policy or whether the superintendent has operationalized changes regarding best practices. I cannot recall the details of all of those, but it has been an evolution that I think was slowed somewhat by the pandemic, which is why we, I know, took on the amendments or changes in this January, past January.
Was there at one time an initiative called the Social Media Task Force for Prince William County Schools?
You know, I don't know if we had an official name to it. I know that Division Council was going to put together a group to look at this back starting in 18 or 19 to address it. And that's really when the pandemic hit, 2020, and we became delayed on that. Whether we had a formal task force or not, I cannot recall.
What was the purpose of Division Council putting together a group to address social media policy?
The challenges of social media and its extent, you know, working with students and what goes on was something that the board was interested in making sure we were up to date on all of our policies and practices. And so Division Council was asked to look into making sure we're doing best practices.
Did that conversation happen in part due to the use of the @SuperPWCS Twitter account?
No, it would have preceded that.
Did the use of that account and the resulting writ of mandamus and defamation lawsuit play any role in the desire and process of updating the social media, or looking at the social media policies?
Object to the form. Go ahead if you can.
Go ahead to me?
Yes.
Okay. The every, incident or case regarding complaints on social media that we received as a school board were forwarded to the superintendent's office, and everyone really believed that we should ensure that we have policies that address best practices. So anytime a complaint came in, those were flags for each of the board members to say, let's make sure we move forward on some type of policy. Again, Division Council was working on that, and it took some time.
So was it, did the school board ever direct or encourage Division Council to continue that process of putting together the group to evaluate the social media policy?
Object to the form. Go ahead.
That was an ongoing ask of Division Council since I've been on this board to, evolve the policy, to modernize and keep up with all the different changes that we are seeing online and, and continue to see.
So the, well, let me show you. So before I hand you this exhibit, can you tell me what your understanding is about the claims that Mr. Sawyers has made against the board and Dr. Bishop?
My understanding is the complaint regards Dr. Bishop's personal Twitter account and its relevance to the First Amendment and what level of control Dr. Bishop can have on his own personal account.
And what is the basis for that understanding that you've described there?
I just want to object and warn the witness not to discuss anything that you may have learned from counsel.
Yeah.
Other than that, you can go ahead.
I've read the complaint.
When did you read the complaint?
Months ago when it came in.
Was that the first version of the complaint or the amended complaint?
I don't know.
Would it have been last July or June or sometime after that?
I would say that I try to read everything that comes to me, so I don't know when.
Do you receive a copy of all the pleadings in every case in which the school board is a party?
On every single one, I don't think so. But I have access to all of them.
How do you access them?
By request from Division Council.
So they're provided on a as requested basis?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to hand you now Exhibit 1. Shall I supply these, this is a question for Kurt, shall I supply the exhibits to you electronically, or are you gathering them for Lisa?
Both.
Okay, very good.
Are you marking them? Or
He's already marked it.
oh, I see it.
I will
Not its usual
prepare
spot.
if needed. Yes.
Can you take a second and look that over, please, Dr. Lateef?
Yep. Okay.
Have you seen this Twitter account profile page before?
Yes.
Where have you seen it before?
I follow the account.
When did you start following the account?
Oh, I don't know. Could be 2, 3, 4 years. I'm not positive. I follow a lot of school personnel accounts. I follow a lot of accounts on Twitter.
At the time that you made the decision to follow the account, did you know who the operator of the account was?
No.
When did you become aware, if you're now aware, that Dr. Bishop operates the account?
Probably at the time when the complaint came in.
And up until the filing of the complaint, was it your belief that this account was run by someone at Patriot High School?
I was not aware who ran the account.
Did you have any information about who ran the account at all?
No.
As far as you were concerned, it could have been someone in California, as likely as someone who worked at Patriot High School?
Objective form. Answer, yeah.
I suppose.
That was your belief at the time, up until the filing of the complaint?
I'm sorry, what's the question when you say your belief?
The belief you just expressed.
I think that's just built on what I thought had a problematic question. Could you just ask whatever question you're asking so we can have a clear understanding of what it is?
So could you give an objection that's specific and it's not a speaking objection
It's
to
not
the
speaking,
question?
it's, I need to understand what the question is.
So I understand that, but when you give an objection of the type that you just gave, it hints at the witness that the question is in some way objectionable, but you don't actually make the objection to the piece of the form that I would need to fix it.
Yeah, I disagree with you.
Okay, well, it's black letter law that you can't give an objection in any other format besides saying object to the form or objection some other basis.
Yeah.
So if you wish to make an objection, I would ask you to use that format.
Mine wasn't an objection, it was a request that you state the question in a manner in which we could understand it.
That's even less acceptable.
I disagree with you.
So it's not appropriate for you to say in the middle of the deposition, I don't understand the question. You must posit your objection to the question in the form of an objection.
I disagree with you.
What is the basis for your claim that you can interrupt the deposition with arguments rather than objections?
It's not an argument, I have a right to understand the question.
So make an objection based on ambiguity or vagueness or any of the other objections designed to fix that defect.
I appreciate your legal advice, I'll take my own counsel.
Okay, if you continue to interrupt the deposition with non-objections, I will seek sanctions.
I don't think I've done any of that.
So my question is, was it your belief up until the time that the complaint was filed that it was just as likely that someone in California was the operator of this Twitter account as it was that someone in the employment of Patriot High School was the operator of the Twitter account?
No. I will say that I follow numerous accounts promoting our schools throughout the county at each of the schools. There are many, many accounts that I follow. I assume when I follow them, they are put out by someone with knowledge of what's happening on site at the school. They may be parents, they may be coaches, they may be administrators, they may be students, they may be student organizations. And so I try to follow any account that has a relationship to the schools so that I remain informed about what's happening in our school division.
So just to restate what I think I understood your testimony was, that you believe you started following the account 3 to 4 years ago?
I can't give you a number. I mean, yes, I suspect. I mean, I follow most of the accounts that I follow. If they pop up on my feed and they have something to do with school, I'll click follow. So it's hard to know. I follow probably maybe a half a dozen accounts related to each of the high schools in the county.
And when you follow an account on Twitter, is it the case that you receive content in your Twitter feed produced by that account?
It may show up on our feed, yes.
So did you read the content produced by this account from the time that you followed it until today?
I mean, if I see it in my feed when I'm on Twitter, sure, I'll look at it. But do I go to that site and to see what they've posted every minute of the day? No, I don't.
From the time that you started following the account until this complaint was filed, is it the case that you did not know Michael Bishop was the operator of the account?
I was not aware that he was the operator of the account.
Did you receive any information from the Twitter account between the time that you followed it until the date of the complaint that was probative of the fact that Michael Bishop was the operator of the account?
I'm not aware.
You're not aware of whether any of that evidence existed, or you're not aware that you're not aware of whether you know that the evidence existed?
So ask the first question again.
So from the time that you followed the account until the complaint, did you receive any information from following the account that was probative of the fact that Michael Bishop was the operator of the account?
No.
So if you look at exhibit number 1, do you see at the top the bolded lettering that says PHS_Pioneers exclamation?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Is that the name of the account?
I mean, that's the title there. The actual Twitter handle is @PioneersPHS. I don't know which one's considered the name, but you know, the tag, the title, the Twitter handle is @PioneersPHS.
So maybe easier if I refer to your Twitter account. What is the name of your Twitter account, the display name that would appear in bold if we were looking at your profile?
My handle's @chairman at PWCS. I don't know, what's it say? Chairman Lateef? I don't know.
And did you create that account soon after you became the chairman of Prince William County School Board?
It may have existed prior to my becoming chairman.
Did you create it prior to your becoming chairman?
I may have created it around the time I was running for chairman.
Did you use it to campaign for the board seat that you ultimately won?
Yes.
Do you perceive that account to be your personal Twitter account?
Yes, it says on there that all views are my own.
And has that always been the case? That it had that disclaimer?
It may not have said that the whole time.
Do you recall when you put the disclaimer on?
No.
Did you do so? Well, let's ask, why did you do that?
To clarify that it was my opinion, because sometimes I tweet opinions that may be perceived as something from the school board. And so I wanted to be clear to everyone that these were my opinions. It may have happened at some point during the pandemic. I think it's well known that I tweeted some things that folks may not have appreciated during the pandemic.
Were the things that you tweeted interpreted as statements made by the school board?
Check to the form.
So I don't know the answer to that, other than saying that I know I was tweeting things that were highly controversial, and I wanted to make sure that those were attributed to me alone.
Did anyone express confusion to you about whether the things that you tweeted were messages from the school board rather than you personally?
I think people may have said that, yes.
Did they say it on Twitter?
I don't know.
Did they say it to you personally? Let me ask a better question.
Yeah.
Why did you form the belief that anyone ever said that?
Because some of the things that I tweeted were controversial and raised concerns from folks who said, is this his opinion or is this the board's opinion?
And can you think of anyone in particular that raised that concern?
You know, I think there were folks in the community who were upset with me about my stance on returning students back to school during the pandemic.
That was the controversial tweet, is
Yeah,
it? You thought-
they were all surrounding pandemic-related beliefs.
Just again,
Yeah.
caution the witness, make sure you're not talking over each other.
Right. Sorry.
Besides placing the disclaimer on your Twitter, is it on your profile?
It's. I think if you look at my profile, it should say that under the sentences about me.
Right, where people sometimes put dad, 3X
Right.
marathon runner.
Yes, sir. It's there.
Did you place that disclaimer on your Twitter account as a result of any training you received through the school division and school board?
I may have. It may have been part of also that, but I don't recall exactly.
When people question whether your statements regarding returning children to school during COVID were messages from you or from the school board, did you gain an understanding of why that confusion existed in their mind?
No.
It was never clear to you why anyone would interpret statements from, is it at Chairman PWCS, as a message from the school board?
I didn't ask them.
But did you have any information aside from directly asking them and receiving an answer?
No. I mean, there have been press articles about some of my tweets where they've interviewed folks who may be upset with my tweets. But outside of that, no.
Did you change the display name of your Twitter account in response to those concerns?
Which one's the display name? My
The-
handle or the other name?
Yeah, the bolded. I'll use display name.
I
for
don't
the
know.
bolded.
I can't remember. I
As-
do not recall.
Do you recall whether it's ever been anything else than what it is today?
It may have been something prior to me getting elected chairman.
Okay. If you could take a look at exhibit number 1. Is there any information on exhibit number 1 that informs you that Dr. Bishop is the owner of this Twitter account?
No.
Is there anything on exhibit 1 that informs you that Dr. Bishop is the operator of the Twitter account?
No.
Is there any information on this exhibit 1 that informs you that Prince William County Schools is the owner of this Twitter account?
There is no information on this exhibit to indicate that this is a Prince William County official account.
And so you've used the word official there, and I want to be sure I understand what you mean by that. What is an official Prince William County account?
An account that says this is an official Prince William County account. An account that our school division would have oversight over, password, content, authority over, discretion over.
Okay, so if I understand correctly, the elements of an official, I assume what you were saying was actually an official social media account and not an official account. Is that accurate?
Official social media account, correct.
So then is it accurate to say the elements of an official social media account for a Prince William County schools social media account are identifying itself as official in some way on the account, that someone as an agent of Prince William County Schools has the passwords, and Prince William County Schools, someone has authority over the content of the account?
Yes, but not limited to those things.
Okay. Go ahead, Bill.
No, handled the objection that I was going to raise perfectly.
Are there any other elements besides those three that are sufficient to make the list of conditions would make the list of conditions sufficient to make a social media account an official PWCS social media account?
Object to the form, mischaracterizes testimony. Go ahead.
I would refer to our social media policy that indicates all factors that would indicate an account is an official one. I suspect you can find that information in those policies.
And when you say I would refer to our policies, do you mean they're the policy passed in January 2023 to become effective in July 2023?
That and any other prior policies that oversaw this, and any regulations that oversaw this.
Okay. So is it the case then that your understanding of what makes a an official social media account of PWCS was the same as prior to the revisions to 910 and 910.2, 910.1 and 910.2 as it is after the revisions to 910.1 and 910.2?
So I think there are further details provided in the new policy that amend the old one. And what I would say is, if I'm on Twitter, what I'm looking at is does it say it's an official account of Prince William County Schools? So just eyeballing it for someone like me who's flipping through a feed, that's what I'm looking for. If it doesn't say that, then it's not an official account.
Is that something that only Prince William County Schools can do? Include that line in the profile of a social media account?
Object to the form. Go ahead.
I suspect anybody can write it. Whether that makes it accurate or not is, I mean, any rogue person could put this is an official account on there and create a parody account or something. But for my sake, when I look at it, if they say it's an official account, it seems official, then I will assume it's an official account. Like our Prince William at PWCS News is, our official account.
Mm-hmm. Do you know if the school board has claimed ownership of any accounts in this litigation that do not have that official designation in a profile?
I'm not aware that we have claimed ownership of any account that isn't considered an official account. Or let me restate that. I do not believe Prince William County Schools is accepting ownership of any account that we do not believe is an official account.
Do you follow the Twitter account at Super PWCS?
At Super PWCS. Is that LaTanya McDade's account?
It's Steve Walt's old account.
I did, yes.
Are you following it as of today?
I think that account is shut down. Whether I'm following it or not, I'm not sure.
Do you know if that account uses the word official in its name or in its profile?
I cannot recall.
Do you know if that account is an official account of Prince William County Schools?
It is. I do not recall.
Has anyone ever stated, to your knowledge, that that was a personal account of Steve Waltz?
My understanding is it was his personal account, but I cannot recall if it says this is an official account on there.
Do you recognize the photograph at the top of Exhibit 1 as a photograph of a Patriot High School event?
It looks like a Patriot High School event, yes.
Does the avatar photograph there of the logo of PHS, is that consistent in your mind with an individually owned account?
Object to the form.
I don't know that to be the official logo of the school. But again, there's no indication that this is an official account.
So there's official PWCS accounts, as I understand your understanding of the policies and regulations, both before and after Jan 2023. As of today, is there such a thing as an unofficial PWCS social media account?
No, what I understand the policy to me is that there are only official accounts that, for example, the passwords are controlled by the school's division, and for example, if communications has access to the account, they may be able to, tweet on that account. So it might be multiple school personnel have access to an account. I would make that official. I believe there's a Patriot High School official account that I follow as well. I do not remember the tag, and so while I recognize I follow an official account, I assume all other accounts are not controlled or owned or monitored by Prince William County Schools, and they are thus all personal accounts.
Do you think that the understanding that you have is widely shared by members of the public on Twitter?
Object to the form.
Do I answer that?
Yes.
Yes. I think the public is well aware of, especially school parents and coaches and participants are all well aware of what is an official account and what is a personal account.
Is there a means by which members of the public or parents can discern whether or not PWCS has the passwords for a particular social media account?
No, but I believe in the official accounts it says this is an official PWCS account.
So if I'm a member of the public and I see that it's an official account, am I entitled to rely on that?
Object to the form.
Well, I mean, if you're looking at someone who's created a fake account and says this is an official account, I mean, that would be a mistaken reliance because someone is trying to misinform. But if the account says this is an official PWCS account, I would assume that the public should perceive that to be that, unless the account is doing something abusive that doesn't look like it lines up with an official account.
Is there anything on Exhibit 1 that makes this account appear to be an official account to a member of the public?
Object to the form.
I'm not here to offer an opinion.
Okay, I appreciate that. Can you give me your answer to that question, regardless of what it is?
Same objection.
The only thing that, when I look at accounts to follow, that matter to me of whether it is official or not is if it says it is an official account. So if it doesn't show that, then there is by no means or any reason for me to believe it is an official account, regardless of what is on the page.
And that understanding is specific to Prince William County Schools.
That is my, okay.
Go ahead.
That is my understanding with anything. For example, if it's the White House account, it'll say it's an official account for the White House. If it's an official account for the State Department, if it's an official account for the governor's office, it usually indicates that. And so, I've been on Twitter. I will only follow, or not only follow, but I am interested in knowing whether it's the official account as whatever the entity is I'm looking at.
And how long have you held that view?
Since I've been on Twitter or Facebook.
So when you followed the account that's at issue in this litigation, were you aware that it was not an official account?
Yes, because it did not say it's an official account.
So you thought that it was run by someone other than a Patriot High School employee?
It mattered little to me who it was run by. It could be run by an administrator, a teacher, a PTO rep, a student. They're all personal accounts.
Well,
when they're not the official account of the school.
right. So if a student is running the account, but the other elements are met, that it says official and the school district has the password and they have authority over it, would that be an official account?
So a student would, so to my knowledge, I do not believe we have a student running an account that is an official account that others would have access to.
Okay, but in that circumstance, would that be an official account?
I don't think that circumstance exists.
I want to object to the form.
Yeah.
Understanding that it may not exist, would that circumstance constitute an official account under the definition you've offered?
Object to the form.
It would not be the appropriate official account if an account was set up and then given to a student to run. I do not think that situation exists, nor does it I think lending speculation to that would be of any use here. What I would tell you is that an official account is managed by school personnel.
School personnel meaning what?
Meaning that follow the regulations that create an official account.
So you mentioned that the account must say official, PWCS must have the passwords, and PWCS must have authority over the account.
Yes.
Are there any other conditions that must be met for an account to be an official PWCS account according to your definition?
Objection, asked and answered.
Whatever else is written in our policy that determines it, and whatever else division counsel and or the superintendent who operationalizes all regulations and policies is determined to be that. I do not manage or manage the daily sort of management of our social media accounts, and so whatever else they deem as considered official or then I would refer to them for that answer.
Okay, so
I do not operationalize nor monitor these.
Okay, so is the definition of an official PWCS social media account reliant on information beyond the policies and regulations passed by the school board?
Object to the form. Go ahead.
I believe that the policies and regulations lay out the parameters by which accounts are considered official, how those policies and regulations are operationalized and put into implementation. I cannot answer, whether they are going beyond what we've laid out or, in a practical or pragmatic sense, how that's governed and operated.
Okay, so the new regulations take effect in July 2023, is that right?
I'm not sure. It's whatever the policy says. I can't remember if they went into effect officially on the date we voted on it or when they go into effect.
Okay.
It's a good question.
So you can set aside exhibit number 1 for a moment.
Stack them up.
Oh, okay. Do I get to keep them and take them home?
You get your,
Okay.
your own copy.
Great. Excellent. Thank you.
I'm going to show you now exhibit 295.
295.
Yes.
Exhibit 2.
Yes, regulation 295, exhibit 2. I've got them numbered all the way up to 295 though. Take a moment, just familiarize yourself with that regulation, please, Dr. Lateef.
At some point, you need to take a break to
Yeah,
get something.
I will. Sure. Okay.
So is this the version of the policy that's active as of today?
Oh, that's a great question. I don't have the answer to that. I'm not sure if we have a updated version of this one or not. This one is dated, last revised 2021.
So
It may
I'll
be.
represent to you this
Yeah.
as the version on the board docs website.
Okay, then this is the most current version.
Does this policy define what an official social media account is of Prince William County schools? Or does this regulation define?
Objection speaks for itself. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know the answer to that. I know we have some policy somewhere that does. I don't know if it's outlined in this one as well or not.
Okay. Would you mind looking through this regulation and letting me know where, if anywhere, you find a description of what an official PWCS social media account is?
So I do not see anything in here to indicate what an official account is.
Okay. If you'd set that aside for right now, please.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to get the breakdown?
That's fine.
In between?
That's fine.
Yeah, let me, let's finish with this next thing and then I'll take a break.
Okay, I'm handing you exhibit number 3. If you'd just read through and familiarize yourself with that, please.
Okay.
Have you seen this regulation before?
Yes.
Does this regulation govern the use of social media by PWCS employees?
I mean, it addresses behavior in all forms,
And you mean that,
Yes.
in all forms.
The opposing counsel has noted that I've highlighted a portion of
Yes.
the exhibit, which I'll
Yep.
circle around with.
Sure.
Did you say it addresses all forms?
It seems to address both conduct at the workplace and in school, and with communications, including communications.
So part 11, conduct outside the workplace, is that the portion you were thinking?
No employee shall engage in communications with students. That's under 8(2)(1). Shall engage in communication with students either in person or through electronic, telephonic, video, or other modes of communication in a manner that's excessive. So this is behavior sort of in person and not in person.
Is there any portion of this regulation 503-1 that defines what an official PWCS social media account is?
Objection speaks for itself. Go ahead.
I do not see any.
Okay, we can set that aside.
Why don't we take a break,
Sure. Happy
if you
to.
don't mind?
All right, the time is approximately 2:09, and we are off the record.
Don't forget your mic.
Yeah, I'm trying to.